inspiration for recipes for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it's purpose-driven in terms of feeding family in a hurry, but sometimes it really is all about the produce and celebrating all of the beautiful things that we can grow here in Australia. So I've got a fruit, beets and radishes salad for you. And I don't know if you may have even seen these before, these beautiful Target beets. As you can see, why this beautiful pink and white sort of contrasting tones. If you were to cut it into wedges, you wouldn't capture that beauty. So this is a large one, so it's a little older. You more commonly see them sort of more radish size. So we're gonna put those straight into the bowl. And I'll tell you what else we're gonna do with this beautiful salad. So the Target beets are a little bit more mild in flavor. So if you are not that confident or not that interested in eating raw beetroot, we're sort of gonna lightly pickle this in a dressing first. So we've also got a regular beet here. So again, we're sort of looking at creating lots of different textures and shapes of pink and white, just because we can really. And then we've got some radishes. So you can slice them on the side or you can slice them circular. If you get the French radishes, they're already pink and white on the outside as well. So depending on the season, you'll have access to more or less of these, but you can make it work for you. So I'm just gonna put those root veggies to the side and we're gonna create the dressing. If you can, you'd really like to have those sitting in the acid for a little bit. So the dressing acts as a little bit of a pickling liquid. So it softens the earthiness in terms of the flavor, reduces the bitterness because we're gonna add some salt, which is the antidote to bitterness. And then it also gives them back a little bit of spark or crunch. So in terms of the other ingredients here, this is a really texture-rich salad. I've got some red wine vinegar here, but if you have access to raspberry vinegar, I'd also recommend trying that if you haven't before. So again, doubling up on those pink and white sort of textures, colors. So we've got some white pepper. You could use black if you like, but because we've got sort of all of these other colors that we're trying to celebrate, I think the heavy black speckles can sort of distract a little. We've got about a teaspoon of salt because we've got some bitter ingredients. Don't be scared to go a little heavy on the salt. And just some extra virgin olive oil. So you can do this by sight, or roughly 2 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. Just gonna give that a quick stir. All right, so I'm just gonna pour that right over, give it a good toss through. Now we could use tongs or salad servers, but I do like to make sure that all of those bits of beet are separated and I've got some of that dressing on. So you can straight away see the color starting to change with the Target beets especially. The red is bleeding into the white a little. So if you wanted to keep them separate and put dressing on, that's quite okay as well. All right, so we're gonna put that aside. While our beets are pickling, we're gonna prepare our figs. I really love figs. I'm just gonna take off just where they attach to the tree there, and then we're gonna tear them open. So we've sliced them before, we've quartered them before, but they do tear really beautifully. So because we've got all of these really sort of harsh slices of these beautiful rounds of the beetroot, I just wanna sort of tear these apart. So you can just put your finger into the top there and tear and open these guys up. So just revealing again, all of those pink and white textures and colors. So if that's too big, so you wanna make sure that you're not making it too difficult for your diners and tear them into sort of bite-sized pieces. So depending on the species of figs that you get, some are really pink and really vibrant green. Others are sort of darker in tone, a little bit more plum-like. So whatever you can get your hands on is perfectly fine for this recipe. So we've got a tumbling of that beetroot right in the center. So in future, I will definitely be using gloves to prepare my beetroot and wearing an apron so that we can get a little bit more long life out of our clothes. So we've got a little bit of a tumbling of beetroot there and our radishes. We're gonna get a little bit more height with our figs. We've got some hazelnuts here that we're gonna sprinkle over. So we're gonna save some of these. We've got some pomegranate jewels that we'll tumble over as well. And then we've got more of our beets. So this really is a tumbling tower of textures, if you will. So our radishes have really absorbed some of that beetroot color as well. I'm just gonna save some of that dressing so that we can just add a little gloss to the end. So we're sort of hiding or disguising some of those ingredients in the middle there. Now we've got more of our figs, beautiful pinks and whites, rosy tones. Want to make sure that wherever you're sitting from the table, you can grab a bit of everything. So we've got all of our pomegranate, all of our hazelnuts, And then the only thing we really haven't added is any creamy textures. So I've got our labneh here, so you can find a recipe for that on our website. And we're just gonna add little dabs and little dobs of that all over. Again, this beautiful, creamy, rich labneh is a great accompaniment to both the earthiness of the beets and the soft sweetness of the figs. And it's our beautiful, really pure looking white there against all of our pink and white tones already. So as much or as little of that as you like. And we've got some micro herbs here, again in those pink and white tones. So you could use red vein sorrel or you could use baby radish. So we've got all of our ingredients there. We're just gonna really gently get a little last of this dressing, making sure that we touch anything that's looking a little bit dry. So this could be a side salad, it could be presented to your friends at a barbecue, but it's definitely something a little bit different using raw beets and radishes. And then we've got a whole heap of fruit in there and cheese. So there is our fruit, beets and radishes salad. I hope it's one that you'll try at home.